A serious crash on an area highway this morning is leaving some questions about safety. The solutions drivers are asking.
And after a rainy start, beautiful warm weather returns here to Central Texas. How long it lasts in our next cold front coming up.
And more hostages are headed home, but negotiations are getting more complicated after another tragedy. If and when a truce between Israel and Hamas could be extended.
A serious wreck involving half a dozen vehicles, including an 18-wheeler, shut down part of 290 in Dripping Springs for hours this morning, and it left nearly a dozen people hurt, including a Hays County Sheriff's deputy. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Britt Moreno.
I'm Daniel Marin. The roads are back open now, but as KXAN's Sarah Al-Sheikh explains, crashes like this are an ongoing issue in that area.
Car after car towed away from Highway 290 near Headwaters Boulevard in Dripping Springs. The Texas Department of Public Safety says 6 vehicles, including a Hays County deputy's SUV, crashed into each other a little after 8 a.m. this morning.
I felt an impact on the back of the car and the back windshield blew out.
Got spun around, then I was into oncoming traffic, facing the oncoming traffic, and then just got hit a few more times and felt myself just kind of pinball in the cab of my car.
Both Kristen Ortiz and Karen Pacelli say while stopped at a light, the 18-wheeler slammed into their cars. According to the Hays County Sheriff's Office, at least 11 people, including a sheriff's deputy, had minor injuries.
Everybody that I came across in this accident was at least talking. That made me feel a little bit better.
Ortiz and Pacelli say, unfortunately, car wrecks are common in this area.
I mean, at least one a week. We'll see something that looks probably not to this magnitude, but absolutely dangerous all up and down this road.
Earlier this year, the Hays County Sheriff's Office told KXAN crashes jumped 37% on US 290 in Hays County compared to last year. It led to increased patrols in the area.
Trying to get people to slow down, trying to get people to stay in their lane, trying to get people not to use the center turn lane as another lane of traffic just to get by.
The roads are now reopened, the debris cleared, but many are still left concerned about the next crash.
It's just really everybody erring on the side of caution when they drive.
Sarah Al-Sheikh, KXAN News.
And DPS said it would take over as the lead investigator for this crash. Now, Highway 290 is known for not being the safest. In 2019, a Dripping Springs mother launched the 290 Safety Coalition, demanding TxDOT reduce the speed limit on 290. The next year, the speed limit on parts of 290 between Oak Hill and Dripping Springs was lowered from 60 to 55 miles per hour. Back in 2019, Hays County Commissioner Walt Smith agreed that the speed limit needed to change, but said, quote, if you have distracted drivers or people pulling out into traffic, you're still going to have a certain number of wrecks. There is an upcoming public meeting on improving 290 between Oak Hill and Dripping Springs. That's happening on January 16th.
Downright dangerous driving is something AAA says is happening on the roads. A new study finds more than half of drivers admit to dangerous activities. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says more than 19,000 people have been killed on the nation's roads just in the first half of this year. And speed contributes to about a third of traffic fatalities. Another third admits they've driven distracted or aggressive. AAA adds most people wouldn't admit to this bad behavior, which means those numbers are likely underestimated.
First warning weather with meteorologist Sean Kelly.
5:03 is the time, and look at what we have here. 5 days ahead that we're looking at with temperatures above 70 degrees. We've got a nice stretch of weather here heading our way, but ahead of our next cold front as we get into the middle of next week. We saw a little bit of rain out there today. That rain is moving out of the state. It is now officially east of the area. We are dealing with some sunshine as we get ready for sunset this evening, and it's comfortable out there. 70 degrees with temperatures in the hill country, 75 in San Saba, a little bit cooler in Fredericksburg at 67. Metro temperatures here ranging from 72 up to about 73 in Florence. Further out towards the east, pretty similar temperatures as well, though a little bit warmer. Look at Bastrop, you're at 75 degrees. So later on this evening, we've got temperatures that cool off into the 60s, eventually the 50s, a pleasant evening, but we get ready for some fog ahead of a overnight cold front. We'll talk about that coming up.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. The fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is holding today as the U.S. Secretary of State once again met with leaders in the region.
The negotiations complicated by an attack in Jerusalem where Hamas has claimed responsibility. NBC's Alice Barr reports.
freedom for more hostages today, including a French citizen who appeared injured in the first Hamas hostage video. Her mother overwhelmed with relief. An American citizen released yesterday is back with her family.
I'm elated to report that her physical condition appears to be pretty good, considering the ordeal that she went through.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the region meeting with Israeli and Palestinian leaders, pressing to extend the temporary truce once again to free more hostages and deliver badly needed humanitarian aid to Gaza.
This process is producing results. It's important, and we hope that it can continue.
The Biden administration growing more vocal in its calls for Israel to protect Palestinian civilians once the fighting resumes. An advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying the leaders discussed humanitarian zones in southern Gaza.
We're trying to be as surgical as we can.
Netanyahu says he told Blinken, quote, "Nothing will stop us from eliminating Hamas." The militant group claiming responsibility for a shooting at a bus stop in Jerusalem today that killed at least 3 Israelis, including a 24-year-old woman and a 73-year-old man. Hamas says it was partly retaliation for 2 Palestinian boys Israeli troops killed during a raid in the West Bank. Israel claims the boys were part of a group throwing explosives, Palestinians calling the killings unprovoked. Tensions boiling before the bombardment could begin again. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And Secretary Blinken says his talks in the Middle East are focused on long-term solutions and the way forward in Gaza.
You may see some new trucks driving down the streets of Austin. Not just any truck, though. Tesla's new Cybertruck. Just how excited some people are for this futuristic-looking truck.
And many parents wonder and worry about their children, but children do the same about their parents, especially when their parent is sick. The local nonprofit helping families feel empowered during their darkest times.
Austin's based Tesla has a new electric Cybertruck on the road. Now you decide whether you like it or not. Founder Elon Musk promises that this truck is bulletproof and can go 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. Now the first deliveries of the futuristic looking pickup were made today at Giga Texas, the Tesla manufacturing facility here in Austin. Musk also promising the windows are rockproof. This afternoon, where a select few picked up that truck in person. You're looking at video from earlier this month at the Electrify Expo at the Circuit of the Americas track, where one of the first Cybertrucks took a lap. And today, one Tesla fan named Joey Roy came from Canada to see them take their first laps on the streets of Austin.
I knew the event was happening for the new Cybertruck, and I watched it live on YouTube in my car, and I wanted to be by the factory where everything was happening. And tonight I'm attending an after party for those of us who don't have the privilege to be at the live event. But this was as close as I could be.
Well, welcome to town. And Roy says he loves Tesla because it brings a sense of hope for our planet.
I think they look really cool, to be honest, those trucks. All right, 5:10 is the time we reached our high temperature today, 73 degrees, 6 degrees above average. Wait till you see the extended forecast. We've got a whole stretch here with temperatures into the 70s. They're here to stay for at least the foreseeable future. We have a cold front, though. We'll talk about that and that week 2 outlook, which is looking warmer than normal. That's ahead in First Warning Weather.
Children in the U.S. continue to struggle with mental health issues at rapidly increasing rates. The American Medical Association has called it a national emergency.
Lasting effects of the pandemic, social media, and limited access to mental health resources are factors. But imagine dealing with all that while a parent is battling a serious or terminal illness.
And it is the unfortunate reality for some children. But there's a local organization that's growing its footprint nationally to help families navigate parental illness and injuries. KXAN's Jennifer Sanders helps us understand the mission of Wonders and Worries.
We're gonna have lunch together, just like I wanted.
Simple moments like these at the Wyatrix home.
Showing her bracelet.
Have a deeper meaning.
That's what we're talking about.
To understand why, we'll have to go back to 2017.
It's a really, really hard time for us because we were growing a family and I was 32 years old, healthy.
Lauren, a young mom of a 3- and 1-year-old at the time, was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
We started some of the hardest chemotherapy I've ever been given. It has the nickname of the Red Devil, and it really is awful. And having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at home, it knocked me out.
After treatment, her family thought cancer was becoming an afterthought. But in 2021, the cancer came back.
I realized I was stage 4, so I was officially in metastatic breast cancer. And
pain and uncertainty loomed, but her faith, hope, and love for her husband and 2 daughters, Henley and Halen, prevailed.
Sometimes we'll have to leave her so that she can rest, and I'm very sad about that because I want to be with her.
Doing her infusion days and stuff like that, we like hang out with her, get her things that she needs, and cuddle up and watch shows.
Time with them an even more precious commodity when the cancer returned. As a former teacher, she opted to start homeschooling them.
My first thought of it was just time. Like, I don't know how much time I'm here for, and I want as much time with them as possible. It's definitely been a roller coaster, I think. Kids, you know, they just don't always know how to vocalize what they're thinking.
And that's where Wonders and Worries came in, a nonprofit providing free professional support for children and for teens dealing with a parent's serious illness.
There's like a little pretend hospital thing, and I like pretending that because then it can then I understand more about mommy's cancer.
It shows them the IV bag, it shows them what the port looks like, it shows them all these different things so that's familiar to them, so it doesn't seem scary.
Wonders and Worries is designed to be preventative, and that's the support that we provide for children. And then the parents receive support as well.
Nicole Halder works in development and outreach for Wonders and Worries, and she's also a past client.
I wish that all families could connect with Wonders and Worries early. I think the struggle for me and for my family was that we waited because there was so much else going on, and it didn't look like a crisis until it was a crisis.
Through individual and group sessions, they use a program they developed called Illness Education and Coping Curriculum. Child life specialists help children and teens understand their parents' illness, their treatments, and even the side effects, as well as how to express their feelings and cope with fear.
Just like parents like to protect their children, children like to protect their parents, and sometimes they'll do that by just keeping it in.
A study in the Journal of Psychological Oncology found that among 156 families served by Wonders and Worries, most experienced improved communication skills, reduced anxiety, an increased feeling of security at home, and improved school performance. Researchers found without support, children were more likely to experience post-traumatic stress.
It truly changes a child's trajectory. It allows them just to continue to grow and thrive.
Kim Fryer has been with Wonders and Worries for 20 years. She walked me through research conducted with the University of Texas at Austin. 60 families were recruited with parents diagnosed with an early stage cancer. They were randomized into an intervention group receiving access to Wonders and Worries resources, or groups put on a wait list.
Those parents didn't yet have that added confidence. Those children didn't yet have those added coping tools.
So here are the results. The families receiving services from Wonders and Worries saw significant benefit for both parents and kids. Parents reported reduced stress and better family quality of life. Children experienced fewer emotional and behavioral problems and less worry related to cancer compared to those in the waitlist group.
They would have known.
Back in the Iatric home.
I think it's really easy to get sucked up by the negative. I think it's really easy to go down that path.
It helps me feel like I'm not the only kid that has a mom that has stage 4 breast cancer, and it helps me feel like it's okay because other people and kids and friends have stage 4 breast cancer. I'm not like the only one.
In Austin, Jennifer Sanders, KXAN News.
And like many nonprofits, funding to address growing need is a big limitation for Wonders and Worries. The group found connecting with families who really need help can also be challenging. Wonders and Worries has 7 office locations in Texas and a national helpline. Since 2001, the organization has supported more than 14,000 families.
That family is so strong. And Mom, you are so strong. We love seeing y'all and wishing everybody a lovely evening tonight. Now, if folks want to step outside, it is so nice. What a drastic difference from this morning when it's so wet outside.
It was rainy. We had, you know, it wasn't heavy, but it was enough to make the day pretty gloomy, and you were walking the dog, I was walking the dog, his paws were all muddy, and we had to deal with that. But yeah, now it's nice if you go outside and you walk the dog, the sun is out. It's great to maybe have dinner out on the patio. We've got some patio weather here for this evening, and you know what? Through the next several days, it's going to be really nice. But yeah, 10 degrees difference here in the warm weather. We're thanking that sunshine that we're continuing to see out there just before sunset. A live look out in Fredericksburg. Going to be a great weekend if you're heading out to Barons Creek Vineyards in Fredericksburg. We've got some really nice weather here over the course of the next few days. We can finally at least get rid of that colder weather. Now we're back up to temperatures that are unseasonably warm, and look at the difference here, 8 to 14, even 16 degrees warmer from 24 hours ago. We're sitting at 75 in Burnett. Good evening to you. 75 in San Saba, 73 in Bastrop, 73 in Cameron. The winds continuing to pump in the moisture out of the south, so we still have the humidity and the warm weather, all thanks to the winds. Watch what happens here overnight. We get a cold front that moves in, then the winds move in from the north. That will bring us some lower humidity, dry air, but not so much in terms of cool temperatures. Wait till you see this here, showing the drop in the humidity that we'll see overnight. But out ahead of the cold front, we have to watch out for some patchy fog developing in as early as midnight tonight up and down the I-35 corridor. Make sure you give yourself some extra time. You take it slow, especially tomorrow morning for the morning commute down towards the south and east. As the cold front moves in, though, between about 5 and 6 in the morning, the fog will be out of here and that dry air will settle in. And yeah, you see it's been a day for much of the state. Eastern areas of Texas, from Houston even into the Dallas area, still dealing with some ongoing thunderstorms. The system is moving out towards the east. We've got that cold front heading our way, but it'll take a while to get here. We're already starting to see some of those cloudier skies building back in ahead of the cold front, and eventually going to see that morning fog and even some morning clouds. Tomorrow, not the prettiest day, but it will be warm out there. I think we'll see some good sun, though, for portions of the hill country. So here's the scoop. Over the next 7 days, really, it's going to be quiet and comfortable in terms of the temperatures, but we still can't really shake out the clouds. We'll still see some sun here and there each day, but it won't be a full-on sunny sky. So those clouds continue to be across the state, and really not going to see that much rain over the next 7 days, maybe a few sprinkles here and there. So 51 degrees for a low overnight. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 72 degrees tomorrow. So another warm one. Despite that cold front moving in, it won't be quite as warm, but despite that cold front, it's still well above average here. We'll see that dropping humidity, that 10% chance of rain that's going to be south and east of Austin. And then we'll see the winds gusting in about 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the north. Temperatures over the next few days. Look at this for the weekend. It is wonderful weather, and that continues on even into early next week. 72 on Monday. 74 on Tuesday. Then a cold front moves in from Tuesday and Wednesday. That'll be a dry front as it moves in, dropping us down into the 60s there. And then that week 2 forecast, which now puts us through the second week, or first week, that is, second week. Yes, that's right. Second week of December, showing warmer than normal conditions.
Sean, thank you. More violence against flight attendants. A man arrested for assaulting one on a plane. Why his medication played a role.
A Connecticut man was arrested following an attack on a plane in Miami that left an American Airlines employee hospitalized. It happened Monday night during boarding for a flight to New York. Police say 29-year-old Bruno Machiavello told a flight attendant that he has panic attacks and needed his medication, which was in his checked-in luggage. The flight attendant told him he couldn't get his checked-in luggage at that time. Police say Machiavello then became unruly and, while being escorted off the plane, hit an airline manager in the face several times, knocking her over. Investigators say she will likely have permanent scarring.
Start your night with some holiday cheer on KXAN. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas is on at 7, followed by Shrek the Halls at 7:30. Then we're back at 10. Transplant is at 8 and an all-new Dateline at 9. Here's a preview.
This is a story of an Iranian mother who came to America to be with her family, a family that had built a small fortune selling luxury vehicles. Then, one day she disappeared. One of the cars from the lot would provide a clue that would unlock this mystery and unravel a years-long bitter feud. Tonight on Dateline,